Hi everyone, my name is Mallory Burkhardt, and today we are going to be giving a tutorial on how to use the platform Snorkl. First, I just want to give a brief explanation of what Snorkl is. So Snorkl is a platform that allows students to capture their thinking and use it to further their learning. They have the opportunity to record their thinking as it is captured by artificial intelligence, and it then goes forward to analyze their thinking to have them go beyond what the simple answer is and correct any misconceptions that they may have. In a world that we want students to deepen their thinking, this is a phenomenal resource for students to use, students who may struggle to be able to get their ideas to paper or get the opportunity to verbally process how they are thinking, and it captures that and tells them how they could rewrite that. So I'm going to give y'all a quick little overview of what you would be looking at as a teacher if you have this Snorkl platform. So here is the home page. You see home, the classes, and then the different libraries to choose from. And then there's three main things that you'll see in the front. Try a sample activity, find an activity, or create an activity. So create an activity, obviously, is where you'll be able to create an activity for your class, and then AI helps you with that to make it work to where how it can give feedback for the students based off of what you're expecting from them. Find an activity, you can look here and you can see thousands of resources that are standard aligned for every single grade, from math, science, reading and language arts, history and social studies, world language, and just some general activities, with all of the grades, and even going into high school and middle school and different things, that even college with calculus and statistics for math. So I am a third grade math teacher, so I'm going to go here, and as you can see, they're grouped by the different standards that are addressed, and you can see thousands and hundreds of different opportunities for students to be able to go and work on these to gain a better understanding of the topic. So first, we're going to look at subtracting with regrouping. So you see it when you click it here, the activities that are pre-made, and you can assign it to a class. So when you click assign, your classes that you have will be set up, and then you click next. And then you have all of these options that you can limit their attempts. Guest login would be that students can just log in from anywhere and not necessarily your students. This is where you have the whiteboard read aloud and the whiteboard translate. These are your two most important resources where I feel like they're able to write what they're thinking and read aloud what they're thinking, and AI captures that. As you can see, there's also an option for if you have the premium Snorkl. So I'm going to assign it to the class, and then I'm going to go back to our home page, and we're back here again. One more time, I just want to look at the trying a sample activity. These are just options for this is what the student would look like if this was their class. They would have all of the activities, if they've completed it or not, what their score is, when they started it, and then when it's due if the teacher makes a due date. As you can see here, these are just random activities just for a sample class for the teacher to be able to see. But we're going to return to teacher mode and go to the classes. So I'm going to go to my math class, and we're going to look at subtracting with regrouping. And we're going to try it as a student just to show you what it would look like from the student's lens. I am going to take different turns in this to show some incorrect thinking, to show you how AI will capture that incorrect thinking in order to help the students. So here you can see the tools that the students have. They have their cursor, they have their pen, a highlighter. This is a way for students to be able to continue to draw, but it doesn't stay on their screen. And then an eraser, a text box, different math tools, shapes, lines, and pictures. So we're just going to use the regular pencil, and I'm going to record my screen and voice. So it says subtract the following numbers. You will need to regroup. Explain your work. So first I see 1 minus 7, and I know that I can't do 1 minus 7, but I can do 7 minus 1, so I'm going to put 6. And then here, 2 minus 6, I'm going to regroup and take from the hundreds and make this 3 a 2, and this 2 a 10. And then 10 minus 6 is 4. and 2 minus 1 is 1. So my answer is 146. My answer is 146 because when you subtract, you get 146. So here is where I've ended my recording. As you can tell, I definitely got some of those answers wrong. I just wanted you to be able to see how AI will be able to take what the student was thinking and help them switch their thinking. So then you would click submit, and it's currently uploading your response. And over here you can see that it's generating some feedback. Something that I really like that we'll see after is that you can go through, if you had several responses, click through all the responses, but it will automatically group your responses into the students that got it correct, students that got it half correct, and students that got it incorrect. This way you can kind of figure out how you're going to group your students. Maybe you want to work on some small groups. Maybe you see, oh, these students are both really struggling with regrouping, but these students have a strong understanding of subtraction. So now we have our feedback right here, and as you can see, these little timestamps will show specifically where the different things that I might have done well or messed up on, it would come back. First, you can see good job with starting with the ones place. Right there, it's immediately praising the student for where they did well. But when you can't subtract 1 minus 7, you need to borrow from the tens, not switch the numbers around. So it gives the explanation of, instead of just saying, let me switch the numbers, let me go through and borrow from the other place. Then it says, I like that you showed regrouping from hundreds to tens. Can you think about what you would need to do in the ones place when the 1 is smaller than the 7? So this is connecting this and having the students connect what they did in the tens and the hundreds place back to what they should have done with the ones place. Then the last thing says, you explain yourself clearly as you work through the problem. What would happen if you borrowed a 110 to help with the 1 minus 7 in the ones place? As you can see here, it did not capture the incorrect mistake right here where I did a 10 instead of doing a 12. But I think that by giving them this is immediately getting the students started with what they need to focus on, which is knowing where to regroup and when to regroup. And then from there, they can move forward with what they're going to do in the future. So then the next thing they might really tackle on making sure that when you're regrouping correctly. Also, through the premium AI or premium Snorkl, you're able to get a little bit more feedback for your students. So now I'm going to return to the teacher mode, and you can see here that it has the students that got it incorrect. And then we're going to do it one more time with a student that would have got it correct so you can see how it will split them up. So we're going to try it as a student. Again, respond again. Blank whiteboard. So let's do it correctly this time. Subtract the following numbers. You will need to regroup. Explain your work. So we have 321 minus 167. I know I can't take 1 away from 7, so I'm going to go to the tens place and make this 20 a 10 and make this 1 an 11 by adding 10 to that. 11 minus 7 is 4. And then I'm going to come over here, make this 300 a 200. And then add 10 over here. So now I'm going to have 11. And then 11 minus 6 is 5. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So my answer is 154. So now I'm going to submit, let it upload my response. And as you can see, again, it's generating feedback. Normally this feedback comes in about 1 to 2 minutes, which is really good for students' attention span, that they submit their answer and they're immediately getting feedback so they can still think about what they did. Something else that's really awesome is that you can replay that video. So if they forget, oh, I didn't realize I did that, they can go back and see, oh, well, this is what I was thinking when I did that. So here you have it celebrating that the answer was correct. It says, great job starting in the ones place and explaining why you needed to regroup. I love how you clearly explained how each borrowing step and kept track of all your new numbers. Your step-by-step thinking was easy to follow and you got the correct answer. So awesome, this student got it correct, 4 out of 4, excellent. So now we'll go back to our teacher mode, and you can see here, this student got it correct, and if we go to Insights, this is where you'll see the performance trends of your students who got it correct or incorrect. It's taking just a second to load. So here it did not save my second response, but normally you would be able to see these are my students that have a strong understanding, and then you would see your students who do not have a strong understanding, but you would be able to see that in a normal classroom when you have several students doing the same one. Obviously here it has me doing it, and you can go back to response number 1 and it'll show that it was incorrect. So then you can go back to your home page and you see this again. That is basically a great overview of how to use Snorkl. You can find thousands of activities, or you can upload your own activities and then make as many classes as you want for all the classes that you may teach. Thank you so much.